Ooh, that went straight right to it.
Where
Well,
where'd the intro go?
let's just go right into it, man. It was a wonderful weekend in the beautiful city of Atlanta. I mean, man, it was just a perfect, example of Atlanta United soccer, right? We had a lot going
Yeah.
on when it comes to on the field and everything. But first of all, I just want to give a shout out, to John and James that were out there on at the game this weekend, and I was able to catch up with them. And honestly, man, I was grateful for that. So I'm glad I
Yeah.
was able to catch up with you guys. I was actually trying to upload the picture here, but for some reason, it doesn't actually let me upload the actual picture. It just only lets me upload video. So you know. But hey, man, just glad I was able to catch up with you guys, man.
Of course.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. It was awesome. Finally, formally meeting both of you guys. It was great.
Yeah.
You
So,
you forgot.
if
Oh,
obviously if you have not followed, these guys, follow them. John is your boy John. You can follow him on Twitter. You can follow James at ATL James on Twitter as well. And we already got our first comments here. Good night,
Bruno.
guys. We're not going to sleep yet. We're just getting the night started, Bruno. So it's good
Absolutely.
evening.
hmm
Good evening,
We got
sir.
bubbles
Good
out
evening.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, Mister.
You
You.
forgot.
Yeah.
You
Just,
forgot with the Welcome Atlanta United Family intro.
yeah.
You're
I
kind of
know it was
rushed
just man.
there.
Low key, it kind of caught me off guard because the countdown and everything, and then I didn't hit
Yeah.
the intro button right on time. So hey, it is what it is, man. But
It's
we're
like
on
straight
here.
into it.
Yeah, we're just gonna get straight to it. So Chicago, at home Sunday, open roof, beautiful spring, afternoon in Atlanta. Not so much for the supporters. John, you were out there. I don't know if you got somewhat of the sun. So
So yeah, the supporter section definitely got most of the sun in the stadium. So it was nice. I think you guys can see. I got a little, nice little crispy
yeah,
brown, little crispy. Um, yeah, but it was. I mean, aside from the sun hitting us, an atmosphere that I miss so much. I know it's not often that I get to go to the games, but I really wanted to go to the Chicago game. And what a way to start the season for me. Like as a spectator of the team.
Yeah.
So
It was definitely interesting that the one game they brought out the roof for was when it was sunny out, when all the other games have been, you know, nice and dark. But I felt like on my side where there was no sun, it was like cold. I don't even know. It was like there's wind and the AC
it
was
did
going
feel like you had
crazy.
a little breeze, unless
It
you
was
were
kind of
getting
chilly,
directly
yeah,
hit by the
when you
sun.
didn't have the sun.
it
But
it
it,
felt it felt like a high school game on my side. I felt like the high school games. There's no stadiums. That you straight sun
yeah,
depending on the weather. It
a
felt
little
like a high school
sweaty.
game. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
okay, I'm in the game too. Okay.
a little smelly.
Yeah, a little stench. The beer, the
Yeah,
angry people because the sun's hitting. Oh yeah, if it gave it more, it gave it more. You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely. But I mean,
Um,
I I don't know how bad it is for the keeper when the sun's in his face. I remember in 2021 when we played LAFC at home, we scored when the keeper was in his face. It didn't really affect him, but I mean, we kind of did hit him with the Yakamaka's goal. The sun was kind of still peeking at the goal there, but
Yep.
it was definitely a good start.
We lost you, Ariel.
I think we lost him.
We lost
He
him.
would use.
Oh snap.
Oh no!
Oh,
It
sorry, everyone. Technical
we
difficulties.
haven't frozen in like 3 weeks, so it's kind of a good run.
You know what? Yeah,
Oh.
the winning streak continues, but not the unfrozen streak. So it
Yeah,
is what it
speaking
is.
of open cup bubbles, I'm wearing my Argentina Armada kit right now, and Charlotte are on my TV right here, and they're wearing like their purple kit, and it looks exactly the same as this one, but with like
The
blue numbers, like the purple
Argentina
with like the little purple thing. Yeah,
Argentina won. Now we have to. Oh
Yeah.
snap! He left the chat. Well, I'm
Yeah,
assuming
he
there's
he had to refresh. Yeah.
I'm assuming there's technical difficulty, so we should see Ariel back. I don't want to touch on the subject until he comes back. I just think it
That's
wouldn't
fine.
be fair for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
I mean,
mean,
aside from that, man, how was the rest of the game for you?
pretty shit to be honest. I mean,
Really?
it was like we played like trash,
Yeah.
basically. From probably like 30th minute to like the 90th. It
Yeah.
it was pretty poor all the way around, and I could see like on the player ratings, everyone's man of the match is Lennon, right? Like I don't think that's the
Yeah.
key to good stuff, but
No, I don't want
it,
to
it
go into detail, but yeah.
yeah, I think it was midfield, it was tired legs, it was new goalkeeper, it was Yako getting absolutely abused.
Oh,
It
man,
was all of that we've seen so far is
refing
kind of
too, bro. Refing was
yeah.
poor,
Hmm.
terrible,
Yeah,
terrible, man.
I Sosa in the first half, I saw he was playing more as a center back when we were in that kind of little build up with the keeper. And second half, we just totally lost it. We couldn't
Yeah.
get the ball out of our own end. It was ridiculous. That was on all levels from all players giving the ball away.
Up,
Even
up, up.
even guys you don't want to give the ball away like Almada and it was
Welcome back,
really
man.
really silly. Yes.
Technical difficulties, guys. Sorry. I feel
Yeah.
like this happens like every month, honestly.
We can skip the
Yeah,
subject. We already got that. Was not. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
What'd you think
Uh,
about the struggles in the
honestly,
second
I'm
half?
watching you guys here on the phone as well too, but I didn't have the audio on because I'm over here like trying to like mess with the computer. But obviously, you're still talking about the game, the Chicago game.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
James was asking about how'd you feel about how did we feel about the game? How there were so many transitions in regards to like players leaving the second half, the first half, the differences of the game style, the tempo, everything. It's just how it all just changed the game's atmosphere. The refing too. We mentioned the refing as well while you were gone.
Well, I don't know if you guys touched about on the injury part as well. I mean, I think Westbrook being out what in the half is basically um I think is one of the big things that kind of like threw off the team. The second half, I didn't think that the team was like so confident on the ball. And those transition moments, just overall, I honestly don't think that they were, you know, as confident as they were overall in the first half. But uh, in regards to everything else, on the defensive end, we're still we're still somewhat lacking, man. I think we still have to be confident, even when you don't have the ball. I guess Pineda is like somewhat, trying to like mold Atlanta, into like having the ball, and possession and all this. But when it comes to, not having with it, you still have to know what to do in those certain scenarios. I mean, I feel like it comes down to the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We've always talked about this. In that aspect, we always fell mentally in that last, uh, third of the game basically. Is
Oh
now this is
no.
We lost you for a second,
You
bro.
you were glitching a little bit. Just a little
damn.
bit. We're all right though. But I mean more on that is what? It's now 3 out of our last 4 goals, 4 out of the last 5 that have been headers. And that's good, but it's not really what you want. Most of
Yeah.
those corners, probably 3 out of 4 of those are corners, but I don't like that. There's something about the most menacing part is corners, which it should be. Like that's great set piece to score, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That was the only thing that you got in the second half from anybody, and you can't really put it on anyone up top. Barry came in. It's hard for him to do anything when
Yeah.
the ball's not even getting towards him.
Yeah, I think we've been a little. I'm not gonna say a little too reliant on Purata. Purata, I know last season, him with the hat trick. We all kind of jumped on the train, but he's definitely saved our skin plenty of times.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, James. I feel like we should definitely be playing smoother football where we can just score on an open play. We don't necessarily depend on anyone. Of course, that first goal was open play.
Hmm.
But I just feel like when it comes to to finishing, to wrapping up the game, we always need that clutch goal. And sure, in the league it's not a problem. Sure, for the first 10, 15 games it's not a problem, but when we're talking about the second half of the season, when we're talking about the last games to either get into playoff or in the playoffs, we want to
Hmm.
essentially destroy the team, without having to depend on those set pieces. So
Yeah, and I think more with the second half, it's the subs you bring on to play a way that you don't want to play, and you're only 1-0 up and you still got 20, 30 minutes left. It's kind of ridiculous. I feel like when you defend so well in basically the whole game, and you start taking out attackers for midfielders, attackers for defenders, it kind of hurts. And then you concede a goal and you're kind of sitting there. It's like our front three is Chol, Barry, and Arujo. How we're not going to get another goal unless it's from a
yeah,
corner, of course.
yeah,
It's it's difficult when you put yourself in that spot at 1-0. You just you either got to get two quick, you got to push two, or you make the subs that go towards how you've played the whole game, to where you can continue to, you know, push up the field and play your style, which that style, it's more attacking, but it can go both ways.
yeah.
Um, because I mean they dropped back really well. Everyone defended solid. Bringing Wiley in at left wing for ETN, that's perfect because Wiley
It
can give
was.
you more defensively and maybe even more attackingly, probably. But it's more of those like, what was it? One of those subs where you didn't take off Rossetto, you took off some player for Ibarra. It didn't really make sense. Then you put Abram in. It's tough.
Just quick shout out to my boy Edgar. He's a fellow Central American from Nicaragua. Big LA fan. Not
Yeah,
the plastic ones from LAFC. Talking about the real OGs from the Galaxy.
Galaxy.
My boy's going through some tough times over there, so
Yeah.
Fun, fun fact
gotta
about
bear
me.
with it.
Fun fact about you guys. You guys probably didn't know about me. I'm actually was born in LA, and like my whole family was from over there first. So
Hmm.
yeah, they supported Galaxy out there. So I guess in the Western Conference, I'm Galaxy. Man,
Not
whatever.
gonna lie,
Yeah.
man. That was actually like my first team in MLS, and the only
Really?
reason why I actually
Same.
in the begin, like why actually it overall entirely started to begin MLS was right when they announced David Beckham. That was like the big blow up thing because I was a Barcelona fan, like since like back in the day, and the fact that Beckham came here, because he was also one of those players from Real Madrid back in the day, it was like, damn, is this guy really gonna like do something here? And
Beckham is great, but the best player that Galaxy ever had was Carlos Pavon. I'm just saying it.
Mm.
I'm just the Honduran legend. But I'm sorry. I know we're getting off topic, but
No,
so
that's fine.
nah,
winning streak continues at the Mercedes Benz, and guess what? We're
Yeah.
happy to see it. I'm happy. I'm happy with that. Let's keep that going for the rest of the
yeah,
season. Let them be
but
scared.
the biggest losing aspect that you have going into this though, I think is the injuries, right? I mean, you have
For sure.
two guys who are a big part of the team basically are going to be missing the next game against Memphis, which obviously is not quote unquote a big threat to a team like Atlanta United, but obviously you don't want to keep your guard down in regards to this sort of teams because we already seen enough upsets throughout the years, and last year there was plenty, honestly. If you kept up with the U.S. Open Cup, so John, one of the guys that are missing for next game against Memphis. I think that's yeah, Memphis 901 FC. That's who we're
Ooh.
facing in U.S. Open Cup. So
Is it time to bring out the subs for this game? Because I feel like maybe now give the guys I guess a small break. Bring out some of the substitutes, that way they can get some PT. Just have a full rotation going right now.
hmm Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's a reason for you to start all your guys, or maybe most of them. I don't think we should start any of them, to be honest, if that's possible. But it's definitely your big players. I don't think you would need them. I mean, it's a little different from last year. We went from NISA to MLS. This year, championships, 901's going to give you a lot more fight than Chattanooga. Maybe not. Chattanooga might be better. They're really good, but I feel like the jump to the championship, you should and will still handle them very easily. But I mean, if you do need some starters, I think you sub 'em on in the second half. You could see Wiley start, maybe Arujo start, because lack of wingers really. But I don't think it'll be necessary. You'll see Hernandez get out there. Abram will finally get good minutes. It's just you don't need to put out your big guns for this one to start. And you could definitely they can play 20, 30 minutes. That's perfectly fine, but
Yeah.
it's definitely not needed.
so this is the biggest question, right? Um, everybody's been mentioning Araujo has been underperforming, me being one of
Sure.
them. And a lot of people are mentioning this is like the game where he needs to sort of get this like momentum boost. The fact that we're mentioning a guy that's a DP, having this sort of discussion, what like going into his third season, basically. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, honestly.
No.
Uh, I think it's a guy that we just put our hopes way too high, honestly, on, and I think the league honestly has even seen that because it's gotten to the point where he's just so predictable. I mean, it's just so easy to read, and I mean, it even got that to a certain point with Marcelino Moreno, right? I mean, but he wasn't, getting paid $4 million, per year or whatever the case it is. But
Yeah.
um, it's just that sort of things that you've got to start fixing, in a roster that you want to have a winning team in, because especially in MLS, you want to have guys that even if they're getting, paid 80K or minimum salary basically in MLS, you want to have them produce no matter what. So
Yeah, I mean that's totally fair. Pineda said today that wing play needs to step up. Wing play needs to be more important with this team. And we go all the way back to Charlotte. That was wing play was everything. Arujo bagged the goal. Wiley had that crazy game. It's just that game, the wingers felt more involved on that pitch. They felt like they were in the middle. They were in the spots. And I mean, the rest of the season, it just hasn't been that way. It's tough because Charlotte literally gave you everything. They gave you inside. They gave you outside. So that's a tough game to really digest. But I feel like Panay is talking about wing play needs to step up. I feel like I don't know if he's talking about himself that he needs to make the changes necessary to make wing play step up, or it's the wingers themselves that have to do that. I don't see the full quote, but I know he said that. It's it's more of Arujo. Last year he bagged you 2 goals in the Open Cup. Both of them were class. The chip against Chattanooga, and he literally flicked it over Walker Zimmerman's leg and volleyed it into the corner. It's a good competition for him. I mean, confidence. It sounds kind of cringe, right? He needs confidence, but I mean, that's exactly what he needs. He needs a game like this. And last year he didn't turn it up in the league after his Open Cup run, but it's time to do something in this one.
Um, I I expect more from Arujo. Definitely coming from Europe. I feel like any player that comes from Europe should be, you know, twice as good as any player on the field. Now, and he's not coming from a small team. I mean, he's coming from a team that won the French league. I believe that same season that he actually came into. Um,
I
yeah, as a designated player, he should be definitely one of our top players. I mean, imagine Gigi just came and he's already a key member of the squad now. I mean, he's scoring goals, five appearances or 5 starts. I can't remember exactly, but nonetheless, Arujo, yeah, definitely needs to get that confidence up because now he is one of the leading members in our attack, and it's just unfortunate because again, coming from the French league to the MLS, you should just be bagging goals, if not goals, then assists left and right. And from what I've been seeing, Etienne has been more influential than Arujo at this point. So I know it's tough, but
Mm,
I don't know.
that's a hot take, man.
No,
was
it
about
is.
to
It
say.
is. Yeah, I know. But I've been watching Etienne, and honestly, that guy is more threatening than Arujo can be. Call me crazy. I
You're
get it.
you're looking at the price tag when you're watching them both, man. When you're looking on the pitch, ETN had less touches than Yakomakis on Sunday.
Mm,
And they had the same amount of minutes too. They both got subbed off around the
shit.
same time. They like 57th minute, he's off. That's when you know it's an issue. Pineda usually subs late, but 14 touches. I mean, you had Gutman as your left back as well. And I feel like that's not on him. It's what Pineda. It's what Chicago themselves. It's what they gave you. It was tough. Arujo probably. I think he had like 30 something touches, 0 chances created, all that stuff. He had a pretty decent ball in the first half. But yeah, I mean, Yako had more touches. Yako had more chances created than those guys, and he had a goal, obviously. But it's been rough for these wingers.
Put that next
recently.
comment on. Put that next comment on, Nadia. Put that next one on. He's right. He's right. I am.
That's
You're
true.
right, bro.
Etienne is honestly, as bad as we are, he's honestly gonna cook Honduras, bro.
Who's like, who's better? Is Haiti or Honduras? Is that no? It's gotta be
I don't know.
Honduras, right? You don't know?
I
Wow.
don't
on
know.
paper,
Yeah.
but-
On paper, we're technically, but bro, James, let me tell you, man.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I was born in the U.S. of A. Because I'm sorry, Ariel. I'm sorry, bro. I could jump ship when I want to.
Yeah, that's fine, bro. That's why I still got Atlanta United to cheer on.
That's
for.
right. There we
Like,
go. See, we have something to jump on. Oh man, but anyways,
Yeah, no, but in regards to like the BP so far, man, Edgar was saying, about this, that Yakimakas has, been a complete beast so far. They hit the nail on this without a doubt, man. I think he was
How did
what Atlanta was missing in terms of like the physical aspect, on in the area, and he's not so much the guy that's going to get involved in the play because we've seen that, obviously all I think, or, I don't remember honestly a goal from him in an open, or obviously this one was an open play, but most of his plays are come from header or goal, for his goals come, from headers and sort of, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you've been missing. I think, last season you had so many guys crossing in into the area and there was nobody. Joseph was just, or whether it was Cisneros or Dom Dwyer. Dwyer actually, did bag a couple of goals, from crosses and, but I think overall, man, I think that's the presence that you were missing. I don't know.
Yeah,
You guys have anything to hit on
I
Yakimakis?
I don't know if you could get a much better striker. The players that win Golden Boot are your Mukhtars, your Buanga, your Vela, who, they're the smaller guys that are just ridiculous. They score the goals, but a player like Yakimakis in your box, he's an absolute killer. It's crazy how like that's the perfect player that you needed. He was getting Premier League looks a year ago, top of the Scottish Premier League. Like that's a great signing, and he didn't cost you that much either. I mean, he's a great player, and
It's like
hopefully, I think he'll be back Saturday. I don't know. That's speculation. Pineda said today that they're gonna continue to evaluate. He might be okay. It's like I don't know, but I mean, I think he'll score again in his next start. He could do 7 in a row. He could break Joseph's record of like how many games in 2019
I hope so.
because he's like
That's so,
irresistible in the
you know,
box.
that's insane, dude. Because I don't think the fact. I don't know if you actually know this stat, but the fact that you brought that up, that streak that Joseph went on, I think it was like 16 games, 16
It,
or 15,
I think
and nobody, like not even Messi, not even Ronaldo. No, I think Messi actually was like second place, and there was another guy, but like Joseph was the third guy in world soccer. Like, I mean, we're talking about in every league that has scored more consecutive league games. I mean, that includes every league in the world. You know that how stupid insane that is?
15 games is absolutely ridiculous. Like,
That
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about like half of the season, like the guy was scoring like left and right.
Joseph
yeah,
was that guy though. He was that guy.
I mean, 15 games. That's ridiculous. And the
But we,
old record
hey,
was like
hey,
9.
I don't know if you guys seen that meme with Pep Guardiola, when Kun Aguero left, they were like, oh, we're not gonna be able to replace a guy like that. But then yet again, they brought in Holland, and it's like this guy's back in goals left and right too.
Yeah,
It's
we did
like
that even
I don't know if you
faster.
can complain so
It
much,
took
man. I
us
don't know.
it took us one off season to do that, which is crazy. I mean, I don't know, man. He's a different breed. He's the
He is
perfect player we've been looking for.
for real.
A player like Joseph is not gonna work from what we've seen with Pineda. It's not gonna work. I feel like what Pineda is trying to accomplish is that bruiser striker and get your damn wingers in behind and through on goal, which hasn't happened. But I feel like that's more the approach, and I don't know. I need to see more because there's still, we still haven't seen, our best guys play together a lot. We still haven't seen that. Almada didn't put up a great performance. We need to see a little bit more Saturday. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we replaced Joseph. And like what? Joseph left probably like a couple weeks before we signed Giacomakis, bro. We
Man,
a snap of the fingers. We got like an even better player. Not
I,
better than
I think it
Prime.
was already
Not better
seen,
than
right?
Prime, but
I think it's something that it was already like foreseen, the fact that Joseph was already going to be leaving and everything, obviously, since the previous season. But the fact that, yeah, like you mentioned, and I think this kind of going into like the next subject that we're going to be hitting. It's the or damn it, I actually don't have a banner for that, but when it comes to transfer rumors, there was a rumor going around that, last week, obviously, that Thiago Almada had been linked with Napoli. And
no,
oh yeah,
no,
dude, we actually
John,
no,
missed
John.
you last week because we were like,
no.
dude, where's our Serie A,
Oh my
guru right
god,
here?
I saw it too. Yeah, you posted it, and you retweeted it, and I saw that, and I just went and left. Ridiculous, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
that
Elia. Go ahead. Finish
that
up.
would be
No, but
pain.
yeah, given the fact that Almada has been linked with a move to Napoli, now there's some rumors going around that Alexis Sanchez from Marseille, former uh, Udinese, former Barcelona, former Arsenal, he'll be the replacement for Thiago Almada. I know there's been a lot of talk like, no, he's too old. He's not the right guy. I don't know, man. I feel like
Yeah,
Alexis Sanchez is a guy like like he's always been very underrated. I mean, and the time that he was in Barcelona, he was very underrated. The time that he was in Arsenal, he was very underrated, and even his time right now in Marseille is being very underrated. And I still think that has the potential to, you don't want to give a guy like him obviously a 3-year deal, 4-year deal. Like, you want to, keep it as short as you could possibly keep it, because obviously you just, I think that the front office, in my opinion, like my guess is, I think that they see enough potential in this team right now to where they can, go on a far run in the playoffs. And obviously, if Almada leaves in the summer, I think that if they bring in a guy that has probably, I'm not gonna say they're equally as talented, but because one has obviously a bigger resume, 2 Copa Americas, multiple World Cups, played Champions League, more experienced guy, but honestly, that's what you need to close out, a season. That's what you need. I mean, that sort of guy that's gonna take that momentum and just ride on with it, not, you know, quote unquote, just be nervous and, hesitant, in the moment. So I don't know. It's just rumors as of now, obviously, with, Alexis Sanchez, but uh if
It's
you
something.
ask me, man, I'm 75% in for it, and still like
Sure.
25%, like like
But it's one, you know, it's maybe a small source from Chile. There was only like one tweet about it. I mean, it's still something. And, you know,
yeah,
if that's the route you can find and go, people are saying he would be super expensive. I don't know how much he makes right now, but he's what, 34, we said yesterday, something like 34.
Yeah, around
I
there.
I don't know if he would, be ridiculous price because there's a lot of circumstances. I don't know how long his contract has left, if it would be like a loan. I doubt it, but it's it's definitely interesting. And that's a big name that's going away from the route, which is kind of what we did with Yakimaki's, going away from the route of the young Argentines. And I was gonna say before when we were talking about Yakimaki's, we could have Enzo Copetti right now easily. We were linked to him early on. We could have him right now. I don't think he would be doing anywhere near as well as Yakimakis would be doing right now, but that's fine. He's starting against South Georgia Tormenta right now, and I don't think he's a great player. He's been all right. He's probably has like 2 goals this season. I don't think he's that great, but Alexis Sanchez would be definitely an interesting one. But I mean, that's European money, 3 mil. It's tough.
Um,
His market value is definitely low too. Um,
so in regards to Almada, I think now that I really think about it, I know that we don't want to lose, our star player, especially hearing his name in the Mercedes Benz, you could hear it in the crowd that he is our boy, he's the second coming of Almiron, you know. but yeah, now that I think about it, Napoli have pretty much won the Scudetto. They're I think next week, if they win their game, they are officially champions of Italy, which means money, right?
oof,
Money, right?
big money.
Okay. So with that money, we just up our price a little bit because they're obviously watching them, right? They're watching them
Mhm.
week by week or month by month, whatever they're doing. So we can upsell him, right? Why not, right? Upcoming player, great stats in the MLS, basically the star of the league so far, right? And I mean, hey, if Almada keeps selling, bagging in those goals, bagging in those assists, we might just get some nice revenue from it. So,
Mhm.
props to Napoli. If they do the buy, great. Let's just upsell. Hurt
Yeah,
hurt
and
my
then
hurt my team's rivals a little bit. Hurt my team's rivals' pockets a little bit.
they're gonna
It'll
sell
work
that boy
perfectly.
just spice it
Osimhen
up a
as
little
well.
bit more for next season, right?
Yeah, just a little bit more. It's okay. That's all right. And then
Osimhen goes for 100. Almada, 100 as well. Give us all that. But
Yeah, I feel
bag.
like Napoli are gonna get rid of some players this
Oh
off
yeah.
season, without a doubt.
Oh yeah. for sure. They're definitely, because winning the Scudetto, they absolutely want to upgrade. They want to keep the performances up. Um,
Hmm.
and then with that being said, so Almada, let's say Almada does leave, and then we get Alexis Sanchez. I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather get an ambitious player than a player that has done it all.
Sure.
Props to Alexis Sanchez. Amazing player, especially at Arsenal. I think Arsenal was definitely his peak, in his prime. Like, he was just a phenomenal player, a player that can carry a team on his back. But the Alexis Sanchez that we could possibly get into Atlanta is not the player we need, in my opinion. I think that we need a player, again, that's ambitious, that wants to get their name out there. Almada is that guy. We want top performances. We don't want, oh, we lost the game. Great. Let's just go into the next one. A player that I kind of think of when I think of that is a player we saw Sunday, Shaqiri, right? We've heard of Xherdan Shaqiri. Bayern, I mean, he wasn't a star player, but he was a sub at Bayern Munich, a sub at Liverpool.
Hmm.
Solid player. I'm not gonna say key player, but a solid player. I mean, with Switzerland, he was great. He is God. I hope Chelsea gets involved so we can get even better. Chelsea buys everyone. It's
Yeah,
crazy, bro.
get Bully on the phone, man.
FFP does not apply to Chelsea, so let's go.
Only thing is, like, probably Almada's career would probably be over, right?
Yep, but it's all good.
Yeah.
We get the
Chelsea,
bag.
and it's like,
We get the
yeah.
bag. Money. Cha-ching. Let's go.
This constitute. So just going on to the next page, real quick, guys. We've pretty much hit about everything. We could, this that happened this past weekend, obviously, but now we have the debut of former U.S. Open Cup champion in 2019, Atlanta United. We're going up against Memphis 901 FC at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow on YouTube.
Huh?
Yeah, it's at 5:30. That's what it said.
Did you get the right
after
time?
work. Let's do it.
It says
Dude,
7:30,
I'm pretty
bro.
sure Google.
It says
That's what
7:30.
Google told me, dude. And
It says
sorry, guys, if I
7:30.
told you the wrong time.
It's
All right.
7:30.
I like Edgar's comment. Does ATL
It's 7:30?
Douglas Costa?
Yeah, it's 7:30. You surprised me there. I'm like, it's 7:30.
So it is
lied.
okay.
Dude, what the hell? Why is it telling me 5:30 on my phone though?
Damn,
I'm not
I
even
checked the
kidding you.
website.
I'm not
Hey
even
man, I would
kidding you,
know.
dude.
I'm going, so I would know.
It's saying, yeah, like legitimately, like I'm not even kidding you. It's saying 5:30.
My Google says 7:30.
Dude, what the hell?
Are you in like
That's crazy.
mountain time? Are you in Colorado? Like,
Nah.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Dude, what the hell? Why is my time zone? Yeah, it says time zone. All time zones are in mountain time. Like, what the fuck, dude? I'm in
Too many-
Eastern
Mountain
time.
time. Mountain
Too
time
many
zone.
technical difficulties.
Hey,
Yeah,
Cancel.
what's going on?
Let's cancel it. Let's
bruh.
Your
Thanks,
Wi-Fi-
everyone.
Your Wi-Fi put you on Idaho, man. What's going
No,
on?
dude. That's crazy, dude, bro. Because I never messed with like the location or anything like that. But literally, I like you mentioned it just now, and it says time zone. All times are in mountain time. Like, what the fuck is mountain time?
Bruno says it's telling you to leave your house at 5:30 due to traffic, bro. They're watching your back.
That's facts.
My guy Bruno, bro, he understands.
Yeah,
He
I wish I
understands.
did, bro.
It's
I
crazy.
No, I actually did. Nah, I didn't wish I did because shit. That means I'll have to travel across country to like freaking come to a game. Nah.
Terrible. You'll probably come like what, twice a year, huh?
Yeah, if that. Yeah, but I think this U.S. Open Cup game is mostly gonna be like a mix of the guys from the twos, guys like Noah Cobb, guys like Johnny Fortune, Machop Chol, Ronald Hernandez, Vicente Reyes. I think he's the guy that we didn't mention, but I think according to the guys from DSS, he was gonna be getting a short term contract from the team. So
It's what
who
I
knows,
think
man?
it's
He might be
a
getting
four.
some minutes this week.
It's a 4-day loan, which is pretty silly. Which I think they're gonna, in my opinion, I think they're gonna sit him behind Diop and then start Reyes for next pro. But they might start Reyes and then use one of their other young keepers for next pro this weekend. I don't know. It's tough. Or they could do both. I'm not sure. But it's another mess. At least they're all good keepers though, so that's nice. Like
Yeah,
I
and
would
I think
trust Reyes. I would be perfectly fine with Reyes going out against Nashville. Maybe that's a tough for his first, career MLS game, but
mm,
he's a great player. Another Chilean as well, like Alexis Sanchez. So
you
he's
see,
a great player.
Josh hitting on this comment right now. Our goalkeeper situation is a mess. And I think James, remember last week we talked about it that we were like, the fact that we hadn't mentioned Quinn Westberg, it was a big sign that things were actually on a good path, with the goalkeeper situation. But then he goes out, next game, casual situation, right? Typical Atlanta United.
Yeah.
But uh Diop, I don't think that he really had, nothing, or I mean, I don't know. I don't think that he was really much involved in the play to where you could actually point fingers at him, right?
He was good.
Um
He saved the first effort from Shibilko when Ibarra passed it right to him. He had a really good save on the first effort, and then it ended up right back at his feet. And Diop, like, it wasn't his fault. Ibarra played the perfect through ball for him. So I thought he played pretty good. And same with Westberg as well. He played really well. I liked him. But
yeah.
Pineda again today, he was more like 50-50, I think he's okay. We'll have to keep evaluating. I think he can be back, but I wouldn't mind seeing Diop or Reyes, on Saturday too. I mean, at least it's not Shuttleworth and Rocco, man. Like, I'm
Yeah.
chilling.
Yeah. I
These are
actually
these are
do
good
tend to agree
guys.
with Bruno, right?
It's a
Didn't
mess.
Shuttleworth retire?
Yeah, he did.
The one weakness that I see when it comes to like backups is striker, because Miguel Berry, Laura save him, man.
He
Because
hasn't got the ball. Oh
I
my
don't think my boy
goodness.
has feet. I think he has center blocks for feet. Or
I agree.
because honestly, I don't know,
I,
man.
I agree with
He's
that
not.
statement though.
He just seems so out of pace with everybody else.
We have no striker, like no backup striker at all. I don't think we've ever had anything come close to a backup striker. They're just like, hey,
The
dude, do you know how to play
closest thing you've probably had was Tito Vialvo back in 2017, 2018.
another name, another
And
player that
other
we
than
missed?
that, I don't think we've
Go,
had. And I mean, he wasn't even actually like a forward, honestly,
bro.
or a
He was the
striker.
super sub of the super subs. He would come on and score bangers, bro. I miss that man so much.
Yeah.
We need a player like him around. So,
I don't know if anybody actually keeps up with him on Twitter or on social media, Instagram or whatever, but you actually do see him, and like the guy like still has some type of like love for Atlanta United, because you see him training in Atlanta United gear. So
that's great.
He's
respect to
a good guy.
Tito.
Respect.
Yeah. Eric Lopez, he's coming up through the ranks. Uh, I don't think he would give you much more, but I mean, he would at least have some pace. And I feel like with Barry, the approach on offense it's always bad when he's in because we change how we play, but it's not to get it out wide and cross it into a 6'3" freaking striker. It's silly. It's more issues with how we, manage games when we're up like 1-0, like Toronto. Barry didn't do anything either. It was rough. And yeah,
Uh, Josh just hit a comment right here. Right, we try to sign a Charlotte player, but the
he
deal
did.
broke down. I don't know what player he's talking about. But
I
the
got
fact
it.
that there was a lot of people, that wanted Enzo Capetti, and He has been honestly mid, if that's even the right term to call him in MLS.
I love
And
that
I'm
word.
actually glad that we went on a different approach and not go to South America, and we actually went the route
Uh,
that we did, to go to
I,
a
I have a
proven goal scorer.
I have a counter argument. He literally just scored, like right now.
Oh hell, nah, man,
That was
fuck.
the worst. He's
He's
literally, yeah, he just
he
scored.
said he said mid. You called
Yeah,
me mid.
It
What
was
did
a
you say?
tap in. It was a tap
Oh,
in against a third division,
took that damn
U.S. team.
personal.
he took it.
Shit,
He
I see.
and I
But
took
yeah,
it personal.
I think we tried. What was it, Tui Loma that we tried to get, Josh? I don't
Oh
remember,
man.
but I think he's a left back, so it's like a kind of like depth left back because Wiley's gonna be out with the World Cup. So I feel like that's what we were going for. No, it wasn't Tui Loma. No, no, no. It was some left back. I don't even know his name. They all suck anyway. But yeah, Capetti literally just scored. That was funny. Um, yeah,
It's
gonna turn this game off.
that's
It's
right.
2-0 now.
Oh
But
shoot.
yeah, that was really great timing. But yeah, we were just looking for left back depth, and it didn't work out. That's all good. Um, we don't really have a backup left back because Wiley's, our starting winger basically. We don't have a left-footed backup left back. I think the third guy is probably McFadden, and he's not been great in Next Pro so far. He's had a difficult season, but we might see McFadden tomorrow. I'm not sure. I think at left back they might go with Caleb. I wouldn't really like that. I would like to see McFadden because Caleb just rest him. Um,
Yeah. For the
but
weekend. Absolutely.
yeah, and
I,
you'll
I
have Ronald in the right. So. What's
I
up?
like McFadden. He was solid. Well, he had spurts
Yeah.
of brilliance last season. I'm not gonna say he had a great year or a great season, but he
Hmm.
had spurts. He had
Yeah.
spurts.
Um, but now they converted him to a left back basically, and it's kind of rough. I don't think he's still uses his right foot a lot. I don't feel like he's confident. I don't know, but I don't feel like he's really that confident or good with his left foot. It's difficult because Tyler Young, who we drafted earlier, has come straight into the twos and bossed it at right back. He's been very good. I can't say the same about McFadden on the left, but I would like to see him come through. And then Tyler Wolf is another name that could play as Almada's position, which could be fun. I think Sadic might get minutes because he didn't play at all on Sunday. But
Just
it should be pretty fun.
Bruno, I think hit on a couple of names earlier. Obviously
Yeah.
Hernandez, he's talking about, but if I'm not mistaken, damn it, Bruno, I think yeah, Eric Lopez, he mentioned, and Eric Lopez supposedly has an injury that he picked up at practice, so I don't think that he's ready for the next game.
Oh, yeah, Eric got hurt. He got a high ankle sprain. That's tough. He's been
Yeah, and there was
really good this
another
year.
name.
I just saw
Damn it, I'm
Josh's
missing
comment.
off the top of my head right now.
I just saw
But
Josh's comment.
Hey, that's just me. That's literally me. I know you guys don't, but that's fine. I didn't watch it on Saturday because I wanted to watch MLS, but yeah, I watch them when they play on Sundays. It's good times. I like it though. The development. I'm getting more into like this club, so it's good stuff to watch because our
It's
academy's
good.
sick and they're good this year. I mean, our academy finally gets a chance. They were playing in the second division last year of U.S. soccer. They just got bullied by all like 28-year-old grown men, and half the team's like 19, 18. And now they're playing, everyone their age, and they're really good. Lots of guys coming through that are gonna, starting in the next few years. It's good stuff.
That's
I
great.
like
That
it.
is good for development. No, that's good. It's good to have, honestly, to know someone that can definitely like check out the development of a club. Like I think we need to continue that in the United States for our soccer to become better nationwide, and of course in the national in the national team, you know, because I know we talk like I saw this interesting take, and I won't take too long on this topic, but I saw this
Let's go.
interesting take that again, this is just something I saw, but about how poverty creates like the best players, and how the U.S.
Mhm.
doesn't really care for the best player. They care about the funds that the best player can bring, and if the funds aren't there, they won't even look at them, you know. So I just think
It's
that
true.
development is so important for football in all aspects, you know, not only in the league but also for the national team. And I think it's time that the US can try to take it to the next level. If this way is not working, we have to look at other alternative ways that can create the results we want, you know, whether league or in the national team. So
Yeah,
that's my
I
take
feel
on
like
that.
for Atlanta, I mean, it's still, a lot of money, because it's hard to, develop your skills at such a young age because there's not much to, there's not free play, stuff like that when you're really young, and it's rough. But I feel like our academy, which makes this club even more special, I mean, it's one of the best in America. It's not up to like the classic, MLS teams like the FC Dallas, Philadelphia Union, like those ones are always going to be elite, but it's really good. And I mean, the talent in Georgia is ridiculous, as you guys know from the young ages. It's only getting better. And yeah,
You know what
for
the
real,
biggest thing or the biggest change will be here, or when the biggest change in your soccer will be? When all these academies don't start, charging, or when all this talent, starts
Oh,
making it,
that will be the
yeah,
beginning. That will be the beginning of something
Yeah,
beautiful.
because if you look at Europe, all these teams, if you have the talent and you actually are good enough, they're not gonna look at, where the hell you come from, where look at Leo Messi, literally the best player in the world. The guy came like, from absolutely nothing, and the guy had the talent and they took him in.
Yep.
There's many players with, with that sort of background where they come from nothing and they go looking for opportunity. And I don't before, in Central America especially, and I think even before, like, back in the day, in the early years, and early 90s, there was a lot of US players, and like I mentioned, Central American players that sort of saw, or sort of like, saw Mexico as like that, league, where they wanted to come in for that same reason, because they saw, like, they gave them that opportunity. And that's something that you don't see so often here, when it comes, like, you know in the academies, in the US. And it's lacking, man. It's lacking because, yeah, there's a lot of, there's a big range of, talent that they were just like missing out on. It's not just putting your, loop on, just a certain talent, but you just gotta expand, man. You just When it comes, I feel like all these academies, Atlanta United, New York, the LA teams, Dallas, Philly, Austin, they have enough resources to where, they can bring in talents from anywhere, literally anywhere.
Yep.
hmm yeah. I mean, the issue is, I mean, mostly is MLS Next, like the kind of new academy thing. I mean, there's so many, like I've heard from a lot of people. It's not really the greatest players. It's a lot of pay to play kind of thing. But when you get into like, the other academy, like some other leagues, I don't know. I'm not crazy, but some of them are pretty good. And Atlanta's getting better. You have a lot of talent. I feel like you're finally gonna get your first big attacker with Johnny Villar from Mexico coming through. He's gonna be crazy. I mean, Firmino, I don't think he's from our academy. I'm not sure. I'm not crazy, but I don't even know if some of these kids can even play an Open Cup if they're not under contract with us. I don't know how it works, but yeah, the academy's going crazy. We're gonna get more and more guys, and not just fullbacks. Maybe some a little more than that.
in
Yeah.
in my area in Gwinnett County, um, there's been a lot of like Atlanta United prospects. There've been a lot of scouts coming over here picking up players. Because I know Gwinnett County, in terms of like high school soccer, most of the
Yeah.
time they always win state all the time. I
Hmm.
mean, my high school won state a couple years ago too, and it's just rotating. It's just a rotating, literally a rotating chair of like, oh, this school in Gwinnett, this school in Gwinnett, this school in Gwinnett. Like Gwinnett County is kind of the hot spot for the youth, and I know they come over here. I mean, I know a couple guys who was like, yeah, they they let me try out in Atlanta United, or someone that actually played for Atlanta United, of course the academy. So it's really interesting, and I'm happy to hear that because there is a lot of talent in this area. Like whether that's at your local Sunday, Sunday games or whatnot. Yeah, see, yeah, and that's what I
Josh,
see a lot too.
Josh, he's actually one of those guys that he was like pulling for Kervin Arriaga. Like he wanted him so bad. I remember like we were like chatting with him like in the group chat a couple of years ago when Kervin just like first arriving. He, honestly, I didn't think that he was gonna, you know, succeed in Minnesota. Not like they've actually done anything successful, but he's actually maintained himself, as a valuable player for the team so far. So, yeah, man. And Bruno talking about here, Asian player as well. Yeah, dude,
Bro,
Human
Yeah.
if,
Song.
if we had Sun here, oh man. If you're not familiar with Duluth, Georgia, Duluth is a huge Asian community. Oh snap, talk about Duluth. I live in Duluth, but I'm like Duluth. Yeah, I'm in here. Duluth is a huge Asian community, man, and I'm telling you, I'm willing to bet if Sun came, I'm just saying, speculating, right? If Sun came, everybody would wear an Atlanta United jersey out here. It'd be
Hmm.
madness, bro, madness.
Yeah, we were
Madness.
linked to one guy from Korea from the World Cup early on. We didn't come close to him, but I remember we were linked to that. And I feel like it's more of a global search when it comes to, I know we're talking about academy, but in terms of what you start with Yakimakis and even just hearing rumors about Alexis Sanchez, it's like players from Europe, it's not really in our wheelhouse. And
It's
that is
never been
starting to
our
come
thing.
that way.
Yeah.
No, I'm fine
But
with
it
it.
did
Like I
started
love.
like I think that trend could like start opening up, like once Yakima,
Yeah,
and I've
I
even
guess
seen that with
I guess our
you've
Rougeau kind
had
of
so many
started that
like
too.
fans in the like comment sections, like come in and talk about like, oh, I'm a Celtic fan and I'm like so happy that that he's doing well, with you guys and all. So I don't know, man. I think that overall, I mean, not saying that you just want to expand the brand just because you want it to be a well-known name overall. I think that it already is a well-known name, Atlanta United, but um, I think it's still missing that, man. I don't know. Overall, I
Yeah.
think you still there. I think every team in MLS, sometime or another, has had that player that has brought just that certain attention. So far, for us, I think it's been Thiago Almada. No disrespect, to whoever has been here for the club so far, or before, but I think Thiago Almada obviously has been that guy because World Cup winner.
Yep.
He's gonna be the next big thing with Argentina. So,
Yep.
um, but I do think that I'm not saying go out and pay 4 or 5 million, for a player that's 35, 36 years old and is not gonna bring anything, to the table for the team. Just be smart enough to where you're able to realize what you got in terms of what the player can bring for you for the team, and just that
Yeah.
pretty much that's it.
Yeah. And what Bruno said about Messi, I feel like we have no hope for Messi with the strategic plan to get Messi. He's going straight to Miami. and
Yep.
we're gonna be paying some of his salary. So
Yeah.
I
Look,
agree.
man, and
see, I would love it. I'm fine with it, bro. It's messy. This league goes rocket.
it's not even. I'm fine with that. The only thing that I'm not fine with is the fact of seeing him in Miami, dude. Like Miami is like it's such a shit place, dude. In terms of like soccer.
There's garbage, and then there's garbage juice, and then
Yeah,
there's Inter Miami.
like listen, man. The
It's
fact
all
that I'm saying that I'd rather see him in New York. I'd rather see him in Seattle. I'd rather see him in LA. Shit, I'd rather see him in Austin or I don't know. I know he's damn well not gonna go to Austin, but dude, it's just Miami, dude, out of all places.
I
I
just
get it. Miami is, the place where all vacation, all party, this and that.
that's the
But
appeal. That's it. That's really
yeah,
all
but
they
the team
have.
itself is garbage, dude.
Absolutely.
Obviously, you're not gonna have Phil Neville. Probably not even for the next from here on to a week. It's just
Since the
it's a
creation of
garbage
this
organization from top to bottom.
since the creation
Doesn't
of
make any
this club,
sense.
we are Argentina Central. Come on. We literally
Yeah,
are
bro.
Argentina Central. There's one person in that club that talks with the hey, boludo. There's got to be one. You know what I mean? So we are Argentina Central. Messi probably knows of us,
Yeah.
and of course,
If
Thiago Mata is gonna
anything,
talk to him.
if anything, Thiago Mata has to at least give us that that favor back of like, man, come on, man, bring something in that now that you're leaving, man.
Yeah, dude. If there's any club that's second to Inter Miami, it would definitely be us for Messi, right? In terms
Yeah,
of Messi, I
I
think
feel
so.
that.
Um,
Um, Thinking of Messi, I was thinking about how Ronaldo almost went to Sporting Kansas City, who is currently sitting last um, in the table, and they're probably the worst team I've ever seen. They are they can't score and they concede like crazy. They stink. They have
man,
3 goals in 9 games.
I was a big Sporting fan pre Atlanta. Aside with like I watched LA Galaxy, but I was definitely a Sporting fan because of Roger Espinosa. And I'd just watch him week in week out, just killing it. And I can't remember. Yeah, they did win. They did win MLS Cup. When was it? I think it was against
They
Galaxy in
did.
2013. Was it in 2013?
But
Because I
I'm not
remember
gonna lie.
Kansas? Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm not gonna lie. The first
I
MLS
know
game I
2014
truly,
LA won it. I know that for a
yeah,
fact.
it has to be 2013 then, because my friend got me a shirt kind of celebrating the MLS Cup. But anyways, yeah, man, they were always solid out in the Western Conference. So this is news to me, James. So I'm very sad. That's sad. That sucks.
yeah, that was pretty funny. They're terrible now. I mean, they're big. But
Yeah,
Gee.
the thing
I
is,
mean,
you're gonna figure out like how the hell the guy was gonna be able to get into the U.S. because since he had that whole situation back like what 13 years ago or so back in the U.S. with
yeah,
a young lady back in Las Vegas. The guy hasn't entered the U.S. since then. Literally, not even with friendlies. With all the teams that he played for here in the U.S. Nothing.
Dang, that's true. Now
So
that I
yeah.
look at it, he hasn't entered it. He hasn't entered the states.
my dog is like Maradona 2.0.
But
Oof.
my MLS knowledge is terrible. I mean, I think the first game I really like fully watched like crazy was probably like 2016 MLS Cup, which like that was it, and then it was Atlanta from then on. It's crazy. I never really watched MLS until basically Atlanta came around. It was
I
crazy.
mean,
Never really
yeah.
grew up around it.
That's when it matters, bro. That's when it matters when
Oh
it's
yeah,
your city. That's
it's
when it
called
matters.
yeah.
When it's your city, it's on. You're in it. And I think
Hmm.
that's when it mattered to me too. I mean, yeah, cool. I supported the other teams around us, but at the end
Yeah.
of the day, I was like, once Atlanta, if you don't know, before Atlanta United, there was Atlanta Silverbacks,
Yeah.
and that was
Hmm.
the club. That was the club we I'm assuming James followed too.
Yeah.
I followed them very closely. I mean, they were down the street from us, and they were the red and
Yeah.
black, just like we do.
Yeah, that was those were the days, man, of that
Yeah,
stadium.
man.
Well,
Yep,
like Spaghetti Junction,
that
like
small stadium. But it's crazy. That small stadium, Ariel. If you've never been there, that small stadium felt like
Yeah, I've
home,
been there
dude.
for like the Olympia friendlies and stuff like
Oh,
that.
that's right. They have those. Man, they felt like home, dude. Especially when
yeah, that
Silverbacks
stadium
played.
was
It was
those games were
home.
great.
Yeah,
Way back.
man.
Yeah, obviously I didn't make it to an Atlanta game until like 2019. So
Oh man, they were great.
Plastic.
yeah.
Nah,
No, in terms of like no Atlanta soccer knowledge, like yeah, no, in terms of Silverbacks, I'm not even gonna lie, man. I don't go back like way back to that league.
that's
I
why you
got
got
a
us,
little
bro.
bit.
You got us. That's why you
Yeah,
got us.
definitely. Like you guys just threw me off. I'm just over here like hell yeah, like
And
no,
like
but
Atlanta,
in terms of like Atlanta, even in MLS, I think that man, it definitely changed like the complex, of how people see, soccer here in the South. I definitely was one of those, man, because I remember, listen, and to the ones that know me, obviously, they know me like I'm always to be the ones to be wearing jerseys and that sort of stuff. And I remember going to Lloyd's here in Charleston. Lloyd's is here in Charleston, and I think like in Savannah and Atlanta. And obviously, they're not paying me for this. They're not sponsoring this BS, but I'm just like mentioning it because this is actually the first time that I actually was like, like somewhat in like contact with Atlanta United and like quote unquote. Like I went to the store, right, and like I started looking around obviously for like jerseys and stuff, and I see the OG kit, like the red and black one, and I look at it, I'm like, man, that's a nice jersey, and I'm like. But and then I see like a couple of other jerseys on sale because obviously those weren't on sale. They had just like recently came out. So I got like a couple other jerseys that were on sale. So I was like, man, I gotta get me that jersey, man. And like obviously then I started like looking at some games that were like nationally televised, and I was like, dude, like, and the fact that Tata Martino was already the coach, he was previously at Barcelona. I already was following Barcelona, and it was like, you already like had some like
Association.
curiosity basically of like does
Yeah.
this like what the hell does this guy come to do, like coming from coaching the Argentina national team, Barcelona, and he goes to coach the MLS, like, but then the guy went on a rampage and won MLS
Crazy,
Cup,
man.
and
That's crazy.
obviously we all
Yeah.
know the story, but
He was such a
yeah,
poor
that
manager at Barca, and look what it has happened since.
yeah, literally, that's the thing. Like to why I say Atlanta has been that turning point, for soccer here in the South, and even honestly, there's been so many people, obviously the people that follow me on Facebook and stuff like that here in Charleston that are like, yo, so when you were gonna take me to an Atlanta game and all this, and they're just like so curious about it now, and like given the fact that
Bring him
just yeah, dude, like no, trust me, there's actually been a
more.
couple of friends that I've had like that I've taken over there, and hopefully more to come. So yeah, dude.
yeah.
That's great. That's
So just overall, just quick point, we already sort of hit, in the Nashville point, but just predictions real quick, guys, before we hit, we already hit the hour mark. So Nashville this weekend, road game, early game, I believe, right? I think it's like 1:30 or
1:30.
yeah.
So it'll probably
Uh
be 1:55 because of
just in
Fox.
just in time. My Milan game starts at 12, so as soon as it ends, I'll getting on the Atlanta game.
Wow.
Perfect.
yeah. I think me personally, right? And it's not like I'm being like just too cautious, but Nashville is a very, very tough place to play at. We saw that I think last week LAFC had a very tough time, they still lost, but you know it wasn't until like the last minutes until LAFC like were like actually get a grip of the game. But man, Nashville, there's you know they've always been one of those opponents like the New York teams like Toronto against Atlanta. So if anything, going back to like the whole South thing, if anything, this is actually like the Southern rivalry right here. Atlanta United and Nashville is not Charlotte or Orlando just because they were the only team that there was in the South. Miami has never actually been, a match, and just Nashville just because, like, literally, just right from the beginning, the fact that the Atlanta United fans were able to go in there and just take over the stadium, the fact that they were able to take out Joseph and just, basically ruin us for the next 2 to 3 seasons, just given that injury. But it is what it is. Still, I think that if Yakimakis is able to get the start or even get 30 minutes, I still think that we're going to walk away with 3 points. That's just my take. I'm not going to give out, a specific result, but I
Okay.
still do expect us to walk away with 3 points.
Yeah. Um, I I'm never gonna pick us to lose, so I won't do that. We 2-2'd them both times at Geodis Park last year. Obviously, one of them we lost in extra time, 3-2. But 2-2's been a thing. I'll go 3-1 Atlanta because I'm a positive merchant, and I'll throw in a quick 4-0 against Memphis tomorrow. I'll throw that in real quick. But I hope I really want this win on Saturday. I know the players want it too. Going to that place twice last year, you would like to get a huge win. I feel like we can do that, and that's the place. And by the way, real quick, we have like 1,500 supporters that got tickets for this one, and there's probably going to be a bunch more who aren't season ticket people. So there's going to be a lot of people there. I'm missing it this year, but we're going to have a lot of people there,
That's
just like
great.
Charlotte. But I think it's to be more, so it should be a really good one. We're ready.
I love it, Bruno.
I 5-0,
um,
yeah. I'll take that.
my my prediction. So it depends. Just to make it real quick. If
Hmm.
Gigi's available, if Gigi's available, I just feel that the team has a little bit more confidence with him on the field. I'm gonna say a solid 1-0. It's always tough playing against the Tennessee Bananas. That's
Yeah.
what I call them. I'm a little I get salty with them because the game I went to last year, it was here at the Benz, and we were winning like 2-0. I think we had that lead, and then we just let it
Oh
slip
no,
like Slippy
Yeah.
G,
that was the
and
parlay kit game,
yeah,
2021.
it's terrible,
Oh,
bro. Oh god. So, oh yeah, it was 2021. So when that happened, yeah, when that happened, I got a little so I call them the bananas because they have these little spirit finger thing. They do like this. I don't know what they do some. But anyways, so with GG 1-0, if we don't have GG on the field, and if Almada tries to, somehow I don't know if he somehow turns up GG's on the field 1-0, if Almada's without GG and Almada
yeah.
was the same way he played this past Sunday, I'm gonna say
Hmm.
1-1. I just think we're gonna settle with the tie.
Yeah, I Almada scored in both games there last year, so that's something.
I love Josh. I love Josh's comments.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
I mean,
gold.
Florida
Yes.
isn't. Yeah. Tennessee stinks and Florida isn't the South. I agree with that.
What is Florida? What is that? That's a country, bro.
It's its own place. It's
It,
different.
it, it really is
Like
built different.
Charlotte South, Nashville South. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Maybe Orlando. Maybe Orlando's just north enough of Miami. Whatever's going on down there. That
But yeah, that's my
Well,
prediction.
guys, we've pretty much wrapped it up for today. You know, U.S. Open Cup, Nashville game, obviously this weekend. I don't know if any of you guys want to add anything else.
I'm
Uh,
good, man.
Nah, man, that's it. Follow us.
Well,
Follow us on Twitter. That's it.
yeah, obviously, give these guys a follow. You can follow John at it's your boy John on Twitter. You can follow James at ATL UTD James and myself Resurge Spike ATL. And obviously, don't forget to subscribe to the page on. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and obviously Twitter. Feel Sports Podcast, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully Tuesday, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully.
All right, guys. Well, if anything changes, obviously we'll let you guys know. So, anyways, thank you for the ones that have been on here: commenting, Josh, Edgar, Bruno.
Thank you guys.
I don't know who
Appreciate
else,
the
but
combo.
yeah. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get this thing ended up, man. Thank you though for the ones that have been on here. And deuces till